New trend, big trend,
It is
right?
very trendy right now.
Plant-based.
But good. I've heard a lot of wonderful things. I think people think meatless, and it kind of scares them away sometimes. But
Well,
it doesn't have to be like that.
Exactly. We're going to talk about that later because right
Yeah.
now, when I think
Soup.
hearty
Yeah.
cheddar broccoli, I think not necessarily the best thing for you, but you've got a little some switch outs, or you
You
altered
know,
it a
I
bit,
have
or-
some tricks up my sleeve. Yeah, so this first recipe, perfect for this time of year, is a cheddar broccoli soup, which typically is loaded with butter, is loaded with heavy cream.
Right.
Yes.
But of course, you know I'm not going to use all of those things, right?
Right.
Maybe a touch at the end, but this recipe here, I'm using Yukon Gold potatoes, which I have some diced up in here. So these are, you can see that they have a natural kind of golden color to them. So that actually gives them a little buttery taste.
Okay.
And they're very creamy. So like for mashed potatoes too, by the way, that's a great ingredient. That's what I always use because it already has a little buttery
It's already
taste to
halfway
them.
there.
Exactly. So what I started out here with is some onion, some leeks, which I will show you if you're not familiar with leeks.
Yeah.
Only because
This
of Cloudy
is-
with a Chance of Meatballs.
What leek
There's a
looks
leak in my
like.
boat. It's a big joke at my house.
So this is, yeah, I mean, it looks like a gigantic scallion, basically.
Yeah.
But the only part that we use in here is the bottom, like the meaty part where it's
Okay.
white and then starts to go into the
Yeah.
green. So we would chop that off. This you don't really use unless you're going to make a vegetable broth. You could throw
Okay.
all your
Okay.
scraps in there. And then I just sliced it pretty fine. And then I also sliced in some garlic. So I sauteed this for about 10 minutes in a little bit of butter. We're talking a
Okay.
teaspoon and then a little oil.
Okay.
Then from there, we add in our potatoes. And I peeled these, of course, first. And then we add in 4 cups of vegetable broth, or you could use chicken broth. But if you want to go all vegetable here, we add that in. And then we add in a bay leaf, and we add in our broccoli. So there's actually quite a bit of broccoli. I mean, this is a very broccoli-y dish here. So we add that in. And then we let this simmer for about, and I'm only adding half. And the reason is we're going to puree half of this, or actually all of this, and then we put in more
Oh,
broccoli.
okay.
So you have
Oh.
some nice chunks
Wow,
in there.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because
We
that's
can-
gonna, that's gonna help keep you more satisfied
Sure.
longer. All right, so after this simmers, we have
Big
our,
fan of the double tap on the pot, by the way. She's,
yeah.
Do I do that incessantly?
Yeah.
Michelle's here.
that the- yeah.
Who's tapping? So we puree this. After this, actually, after the broccoli is tender and the potatoes are tender, we blend this
Okay.
just until it's basically smooth. Yeah, like you're making a smoothie. We also add in some cheddar cheese.
Okay.
And you want to add in your shredded, and a little milk we would put in towards the end. We don't put we don't put the milk in. We're not going to boil that for a long time. You don't want that to separate.
Okay.
And then we just blend this up. And then right over here you can see the finished broccoli soup.
And
then
you
I
said
put
this one's in your book, right?
this is in the cookbook,
Okay.
exactly. So and then there's also little salt in there. So we
Oh,
just
it's
let
so
that
pretty.
simmer. Thank you so much.
Pretty.
So now this soup over here, this is my chicken tortilla soup that you can cook in
tortilla,
under
you said
30
30
minutes.
minutes, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So what I have going in here, we have some chicken thigh that I browned, and you can see that there's a nice brown, the frond on the bottom of the pan. That's all flavor. So you could also use breast in there if you wanted to. And then
I have been, and some of it has to do with you, fully converted. I don't even look at the chicken breasts anymore. I go straight to the thighs. They're so versatile, and they
Yeah.
cook up so much faster.
yeah,
It's
I
amazing.
agree. Flavorful,
Yeah,
tender.
my kids even notice the difference.
Now the seasoning in here, the seasoning we're using my Dash Dinners taco spice
That's
kit.
right. Tell us about those very quickly
Yep.
for those who aren't familiar.
Yeah, so these are my spice kits. This contains about 10 different spices. And so all you have to add is your fresh ingredients. So that was a can of pinto beans. We add in a can of crushed tomatoes. And then for this, because it's a soup, we're adding in some broth. But all the other seasonings are already in that packet. Chili powder, cumin, pepper, coriander. There's some diced onion in there. So you have a completely seasoned meal from one spice kit.
How many little
great.
canisters of spice fall out of your spice cabinet when you're looking for something. That's what
lot.
drives me nuts. I don't
Right.
mind
Yes.
the fact that we stockpile them.
Right.
But it's the fact that I can't fit them. I'm like, I've got pumpkin spice from like 2008, and for
Go
whatever
back
reason, I
and
don't
check
throw them.
the
Yeah,
dates,
exactly.
I think I
never
need one of
finding the one
those.
that I want.
Okay, so that are there spice things to where you can stack them almost to where I'm not like reaching behind and then they all fall out? Is there a
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
have. You can
Tool.
imagine all the spice configurations I have in my cabinet.
Configuration. Yeah.
There's the staircase. I
That's
have
what
one
I
of
need.
those. I think that's good for the cabinets.
Do you have
for
a
your-
belt? Do you like to have like a like?
I
so you
don't,
just-
but I should. Actually, somebody gifted me with actually something that could fit on a belt. It's like a little leather.
nice.
That does
Ready.
exist. Yeah. I also have a pull-out in my kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
That is like a built-in
right there.
shelf. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways, but you want to make sure, yeah, when you're. This is the finished soup, by the way.
That's stunning. That
Oh,
looks
that
great.
wanna show
no,
you
it's
this
very
here.
hearty.
Very hearty.
Yeah.
So we'll finish this off with some lime juice, fresh
Oh, I like
lime.
that.
Yeah, this is a meal. I mean, you have your protein in here. You have your vegetable. You have tomatoes count as a fruit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
and
I
I'll
like that
sprinkle this
too.
with some scallions. Put some diced avocado on there. There's some spoons
Yum.
over there if any of you want to try this.
Good
But yeah,
stuff.
it's a complete meal, ready in under 30 minutes. And there you go. Give that a little.
I actually
give
got
that a
mad
little taste.
once.
Yeah.
I got mad. I threw every spice away. I went out and bought all new with a rack. It lasted about a week. About a week.
About a week.
Yeah.
Michelle, thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you. My
That looks
pleasure.
delicious.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have more with Michelle coming up, talking about those meatless burgers.
DashDinners.com.
Hey, coming up, we are getting to know more about the Thai Ridgeback breed. There they are, and how you can give them a forever home. We're back right after this.